Today we're going to make a Raspberry Linzer Tart, and these are the ingredients you need. You need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, which we haven't measured out any of this stuff yet. 3/4 cup of toasted sliced almonds. The actually almonds are in the oven for 350 on a parchment papered covered baking sheet, so we're toasting those right now in the oven. 2/3 cup of confectionery sugar or powdered sugar. 3/4 teaspoon of cocoa powder, and 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon, they write these so small, 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1 stick of butter, unsalted, cut into small pieces, which I'll do when we get ready to go. You need some lemon extract. We just buy the little jar, the bulb of it. You need a total of 3/4 of a teaspoon, but I'll measure it out when we actually get to that point. You need 2 large eggs, but you're only going to use the yolks, so the whites are going to go away. 1 tablespoon of water, which I did measure out. A teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then 1 18-ounce jar of red raspberry preserves with the seeds. Okay, these are what the almonds look like toasted. You can see they turned brown for the most part. So these are in for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. You just got to keep an eye on them. Put them in a food processor. And everything here calls for a food processor, so I can't imagine you being able to do this without, but I don't know. So we're going to add our flour. And I already told you all the ingredients, or the amounts. Powdered sugar, and our spices, all the cloves and ginger and all that stuff is going to be in there. Dump it in, and then save your butter and your lemon for next. So I'm going to basically pulse this until it turns to a fine powder. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to add my lemon, and it's 1/2 teaspoon of lemon extract, which is not very much, but it actually called for lemon zest, but we don't have a lemon to zest or zester to zest it with. So, and then add your cubed up butter. I'm going to add like 1/2 to each side. Go there. And then we're going to pulse this again until it clumps together. Okay, you can see it's kind of a crumbly mixture. It's not a dough yet. It's just crumbly, like it's in. You could probably pack that together a little bit if you wanted to squeeze it. So now what you want to do is get a fork. Forgot to grab one, sorry. Get a fork, and you've got your egg yolks and your vanilla and water, and you're just gonna beat those together just to really break up the yolk more than anything, but also get the liquid kind of mixed up. And then we're gonna put it back in the food processor until it makes clumpy, until it starts getting clumped together. It's finished doing all its mixing and pulsing. There's a little bit of the powder, flour and stuff on there, but it'll be fine. It'll mix in when I'm making the dough. Try not to touch it any more than I have to because it's a little sticky, and I haven't floured my hands yet. So, okay. So what you want to do? Flour your hands just a little bit, and I just have a bucket of flour over here. And you want to make this into like a ball. And what we're going to do is take 1/3 of this and put it between these 2 sheets of wax paper. Now if I was going to be really precise, I'd measure it, but weigh it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that's about 1/3 right there. And the The other 2/3 I'm going to put to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this between 2 pieces of wax paper to where it's about 9 inches across. These non-stick doesn't work too well on wax paper, so I'm actually going to get rid of that wax paper. Like I said, you want it to be 9 inches across. How long that is? Not quite. It's supposed to be non-stick. Nothing's ever non-stick. You ever notice that? Nothing's ever non-stick the way it's supposed to be. I think I'd rather do this, you know, it says do it on wax paper. I think I would rather just do it on a piece, on the countertop with flour, but yeah, it's a little bit bigger than 9, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put this on a baking sheet, and actually it'll chill for 30 minutes in the refrigerator. So now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use wax paper. I'm just going to flour my surface here. Okay, so I'm going to roll this out. Like I said, this is what's going to go on my tart, inside my tart pan itself. And you're supposed to take it and rotate it like a 1/4 turn. See if I can't get this in the tart pan without tearing it up. I can always squeeze this one. This one's not like a regular dough to where it can't be pushed back together again. So that's good. Because a regular tart dough is like more like a pie crust, and this isn't. This one's squishier. Kind of like a cookie. I mean, a gingerbread or a cookie dough is really what this is more like. Okay, now when this, I'm going to finish patting it out and get it all covered up. But once I get done, this will also go in the refrigerator for half an hour. Okay, the stuff's been in the refrigerator for probably about 15 minutes now. So I went ahead and turned my oven on. It needs to preheat to 350. And I've got I'm gonna go ahead and mix up my raspberry preserve. So I'm gonna get a spoon and put it in this bowl. The only reason I put it in this bowl is you're supposed to mix the lemon in with it. Well, I have a lot of seeds in it. I don't buy raspberry preserves with seeds, so it's weird seeing it. It's like some alien creature. So anyway, the only reason I'm doing this is you're supposed to mix that lemon juice, the zest of the lemon. We're using, again, lemon extract, so let's do it out there. So we're using a half a teaspoon of this lemon extract, which is stronger, I admit, but still, it doesn't seem like it makes so much of a difference. And I'm going to stir this up. Stirring it up probably also loosens it up a little bit, breaks it up, makes it a little runnier. Yeah. So this is going to go in the bottom of that tart crust when it's been out half an hour. So this will give me, this will give the oven a little time to heat up, and then I'll be back to show you how to put this in and doing the last work on top. Okay, the oven's almost heated up. It'll beep here in just a second, but I'm going to go ahead and put my jam in the bottom of my tart pan. So what you're going to do is take the dough that you put between the 2 pieces of wax paper and get rid of the top one. And I measured out 1/2 inch like tick marks on this piece of parchment paper. So I'm going to lay this on my piece of dough here. And I'm going to basically just make little dents real quick with a pizza cutter. And if it's not perfect, it's okay. You need 14. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'll probably do a couple more just in case they break. I'd rather me go ahead and do it. Okay. And then I need to just go straight up and down, which I don't have a ruler, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. Like I said, if y'all were in a 5-star restaurant, I might get my ruler out and measure them and all that stuff, but this works. Yeah, pretty good. So I'm going to take a pair of scissors. Try and get a little. I can use this knife, and I'm just going to go around and cut kind of even with the edge of the crust. Okay, here it is. I've got them all cut to the edges. This is going to go in the oven at 350 for 50 minutes or until it's brown. So I'm going to get it in the oven and then I'll be back. Okay, here it is out of the oven. It was in there for exactly 50 minutes. It's gotten good and brown on the top. The top is brown and the sides are really good and brown. So it has to cool completely before you remove it. But once it's ready to go, we'll be back to show. It doesn't say when you dust it. Does it say when you dust it? If you do it now, it's just going to melt after it's cooled. So you cool it completely, remove the sides, and then you dust it. But we'll be back once it cools off. All right, it's had plenty of time to cool, so I'm going to take the whole thing, and I'm going to use a cup. You can use a glass, a can, a jar. It doesn't really matter. But you want to set it on top. Remember, the bottom's removable, so you just lay it on there. The bottom, the sides come right off, and I'm wondering if I can get this bottom off. If not, we'll just eat it. Oh, that comes right off. Okay, so those are dirty. And I actually baked it on a baking pan just in case something leaked out of it. You never know if something's gonna leak out. Put my coffee cup over here so it won't get dirty. Okay, so powdered sugar, you're gonna take some kind of strainer, and put a little bit of there, and it kind of fell through, but you smell a little bit, just to dust it. So anyway, I wish I'd done that in the middle, but it is what it is. If you touch it, it'll make it awful. So you can still see it really good around the outsides. It just looks like I got a little thicker around the edges. I mean, in the middle. I think it still looks pretty. But anyway, we're gonna cut it and try it out. We'll be back.
So we have our tarts, and let me tell you, cutting this makes 12 pieces, or no, I'm sorry, 10 servings. It was really tough cutting this into 10 servings.
It was just, I mean, I didn't cut it, but it looked like it was tough.
Yeah, it was kind of tough to get this into 10 servings, especially with that lattice work, you know, because you start cutting on that, and the more you cut, the more lattice wants to just fall apart. Right. So that was kind of tough, but yeah. You ready to try? It smells so good.
Was it? It's 12 servings, isn't it?
10.
Oh, well, you said 12.
You know what?
She said 12, so we cut it for 12 servings.
I looked at the wrong recipe.
It's all right.
You know what I did?
It's actually better because they're smaller.
Let me tell you what I did. The paper's folded except for the servings, so I flipped the paper over to see the serving size, and I looked at the serving size for this other recipe. It makes 10.
It's supposed to make 10.
Oh my gosh.
But
well,
we cut it in 12. It's okay because I don't know if it would have been any easier to cut.
It's plenty big enough.
I don't know if it would have been any easier to cut though if you made it less cuts.
Right.
Because the lattice is still going to break.
Right. Well, I think it's delicious.
I haven't tried it yet.
I got this recipe. I'll show you how old it is. It's from Redbook magazine, and it's from December 2006. And it's funny, it is from the December issue. I'm just saying this because I told Kevin when he mixed up the crust, I said that smells like Christmas. And then I said, wait a minute, it really smells like Thanksgiving. It smells like something that you would have at Thanksgiving. But now when I saw it in my recipe book, this is something I just tore out of Redbook magazine, you know. When I saw it in my recipe book, I thought it looked like something that was summery because it's a raspberry, it's a tart. So I was thinking about something light. But I think it's good for this time of year. And the only other thing I wanted to ask, really, since this is from December 2006, it surprised me that you used toasted sliced almonds instead of almond flour. Yeah. So I'm wondering if back in 2006, if almond flour wasn't readily available like it is now. A lot of you all will probably know that. I just started using almond flour, so I don't have a clue. But I'm wondering if nowadays this same recipe, if they wouldn't say use almond flour.
Instead of flour and ground up almonds?
Right, instead of going to the trouble to buy the sliced almonds and toasting them and then having to grind them up. Yeah.
This is okay for me. You have to really, really, really like raspberries. I mean, like, love raspberries. It's kind of tart.
Yes.
Not sour like in, wow, that's really tart. But it does have a tartness to it. It's not super sweet.
No.
It's more tart than sweet.
Yes.
It's a raspberry.
It's definitely
It's
more
a raspberry
tart than
on a cookie kind of crust. And the cookie crust is not very sweet.
No.
But if you think about it, there really wasn't any sugar in there.
No.
Actually, there was no sugar in the crust, was there?
And you put ground cloves in it. And cloves are not sweet. No.
It's more like a...
No, you used, yeah, you did use 2/3 cup confectioner sugar,
powder sugar, yeah.
But it wasn't much. I mean, that's not much at all.
No, not when it comes to powder sugar, because that probably condenses down to maybe 1/4 of a cup of actual sugar. Which makes you wonder why you use that. But whatever. Makes it light, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
It's good. It's not bad by any means. It's good. I think people that like raspberries and like a fresh fruit kind of flavor would love this, especially at Christmas. Having this out at Christmas before as a dessert for dinner or something like that. You could probably even have this for Thanksgiving if you really wanted to.
You could, yes.
Because this is kind of a fallish to me kind of tart.
People make Linzer cookies for Christmas. Kevin, there's a recipe on YouTube. Kevin has made Linzer cookies. And so this is a Linzer tart, and I don't know why Linzer cookies are well known to be at Christmas, but so this, I guess, it has the name Linzer in it, so they expect you to eat it at Christmas.
Yeah. But it's good. I like the crust. The crust is good and crisp and tastes fine. Like I said, the berries just they are tart.
I'm not tasting the cloves too much, but I'm getting the ginger. When you have a big piece of that crust, you really taste that. Yeah. I like the Bakewell tart better.
Yeah, it's sweeter.
It's because it's sweeter, but this, I think this is really good, and it's something different. It's a change, you know?
You will get seeds in your teeth.
Yeah, you will get seeds in your teeth. But it's pretty too.
It is pretty. Would I make it again if I were if I was going somewhere to take something like a Christmas party at work or something? I wouldn't mind taking this
because it's very, very pretty and it'll serve 10.
Yeah. Now, would I make this for our family? It wouldn't fit our family.
No, because our family wants chocolate.
Yeah. Nobody in our family would actually eat that.
No, unfortunately not. So yeah, this will be going to work. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. It is a really good dessert, something different. So thanks for watching.